From art history.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Threaducation. Today we're going to be talking about Chrome Hearts. I've been following Chrome Hearts for a while now, and for a long time the brand has felt like one of the fashion industry's best kept secrets. However, in recent years it feels like that secret is finally out because the brand only seems to be getting more popular, so I figured now's a good time to talk about where it all started and how it got to where it is today. That being said, this is the history of Chrome Hearts.
Let's go. Excited here.
In the late 1980s, Richard Stark was working as a premium leather dealer in Los Angeles, and his friend, John Bowman, was working as a leather manufacturer. Both of them were deeply ingrained in motorcycle culture and decided to put their talents to use to make themselves some leather jackets. Working out of a garage, they began making gear for themselves and their friends, and before long they'd basically set up a small leather manufacturing company. Stark and Bowman also...
Hold a minute. Yep.
Also welcomed Leonard Camus into the mix. Camus was a jeweler who specialized in the use of sterling silver, something that has since become one of Chrome Hearts' staple offerings. Now it's important to point out that at this point in time, the three of them weren't really operating as a brand. In fact, they didn't even have a brand name, they were basically just making custom pieces for whoever wanted them. But that all changed in 1989 when they were asked to create some wardrobe pieces for a low-budget comedy horror film called Chrome Hearts. Now hopefully there are some sirens going off in your head right now because yes, that is where they got the name for the brand. Chrome Hearts was just a working title for the film during the casting stage, and it would later be renamed to Chopper Chicks in Zombie Town. I don't know who was in charge of making that decision, but they nailed it.
Yeah.
Anyways, this film didn't just inspire their new brand name, it also opened new doors for them. One of the lead actresses from the film happened to be dating Steve Jones of the Sex Pistols at the time. And after seeing some of their designs, he was an immediate fan. Jones commissioned Chrome Hearts to create some pieces, and when he began wearing them on stage, the brand began to build a following. In fact, the following was enough for them to decide it was time to open up a proper production factory in LA.
You see, Chad? You see how everything starts so small? You just need to start so small, man. Anything you're doing, you just need to start so small. It's not gonna happen overnight, it's not gonna happen overnight. I'm telling you, bro, it's just every day, a little by little, you have to do it, bro. And Chrome Heart, we're watching his story, man. Everybody came like that. You have to be patient, have a patience, day by day, just follow what you like, your gift, and I promise you're gonna achieve amazing level in this life.
In part thanks to being seen on Steve Jones, Chrome Hearts became particularly popular within the rock and roll community, and some of their earliest customers included the likes of Lenny Kravitz, the Motley Crue, and Guns N' Roses. As legendary as these customers were, perhaps none of them were as important as Lori Lynn. Lori Lynn was working as an art director when she ran into Richard at a fish market in Malibu. The two began collaborating on a swimwear line that Lori Lynn was working on, and within just a few months, the two of them would be happily married. Lori Lynn then began working for Chrome Hearts, and this was an important turning point for the brand because she took charge of things like marketing, photography, and even helped introduce ready-wear, which opened Chrome Hearts up to a much wider public audience. In my opinion, this was the start of Chrome Hearts as we know it today.
Chad, the Stark, he's alive or not? He's dead or not?
As I mentioned, Chrome Hearts was founded by three people: Richard Stark, John Bowman, and Leonard Camus. The brand was just beginning to take off, but for reasons that aren't exactly clear, the three of them decided to part ways in 1991, and Richard Stark purchased their shares in the business, making him the sole owner. Richard had always been the...
Oh my gosh, what a genius! Richard Stark, what's a genius, bro? He is genius, man. He bought all. Imagine the two guys how regretting they are right now. I mean, because in the start, never gonna know how far you can go, you know. Oh my man, Alfredo, what's up, buddy? I'm doing Chrome Heart story. Have you ever heard about Chrome Heart? Imagine how he bought all the shares, man.
Heart and soul of the brand.
Smart
So if
guy.
anything, this just gave him more freedom to turn Chrome Hearts into everything he wanted it to be. And that's exactly what he did. From 1991 onwards, Chrome Hearts continued producing leather goods and silver jewelry, but now, using his previous experience as a high-end carpenter, Stark expanded the brand into furniture and home goods. Meanwhile, Lori Lynn continued overseeing most of the garments and accessories, as well as the Chrome Hearts magazine. I highly recommend you check out some of the Chrome Hearts magazines because Lori Lynn is an amazing photographer, and it's almost eerie how well she captures the Chrome Hearts vibe in her work. All that said, Chrome Hearts was really starting to take shape. But remember that at this point in time,
Alfredo, you should check Chrome Heart, bro. In America, it's widely popular. You have to see what's going on. It's a very good brand, but it's expensive as you know. It's so expensive. Yeah, my man. Thanks so much. Have a good day, buddy. Thank you.
they were still catering mostly to the grungy rock and roll biker demographic. Make no mistake, that's still the case today, but nowadays just about everyone knows about Chrome Hearts. So the question becomes, how did they make that transition from cult favorite to world famous?
Okay, let's go. Talk to me.
Okay, so we know you're gonna watch this demo with
Oh
double
my
speed.
gosh,
All
bro.
software engineers
Oh
do.
my gosh.
Buckle up, we're keeping it quick.
As the story goes, in 1991, Richard Stark brought a single motorcycle jacket and pair of chaps to Tommy Pearce, the founder and creative director of the legendary LA-based boutique Maxfield. Pearce liked Chrome Hearts enough to give them a shot by stocking some of their pieces at Maxfield, and this was important because A, Maxfield is open to the general public, and B, Maxfield has a long list of celebrity clientele, not just rock and roll stars. This led to a major spike in widespread popularity. And before long, Chrome Hearts was being stocked at places like Bergdorf Goodman's and was even being used in Vogue campaigns. In other words, Chrome Hearts was now gaining mainstream recognition, and they were about to have another major breakthrough. In 1992, Richard Stark got a phone call from the Council of Fashion Designers of America letting him know that he had won the prize for Best Accessories Designer. If you're familiar with American fashion, you know how much of an honor it is to win a CFDA prize. But remember, Richard doesn't really consider himself to be a fashion designer. Instead, he considers himself to be more of a craftsman. So when he got the call, he didn't know what the CFDA was, and thought it was actually a telemarketing call. Richard recalls that the CFDA wanted him to pick a celebrity to present the award to him. He knew exactly who he wanted, but he refused to tell the CFDA who he had picked, and he told them that if they didn't trust him, they should hire their own backup. As we now know, Richard picked pop icon Cher.
Oh, yeah. Let me see.
To three men that I really love a lot. I think they're extremely talented. As a matter of fact, they made this bag. It doesn't work. It's just an accessory, and soon they're going to be able to make it open. But I promised them I would wear it tonight, even though I couldn't put anything in it. But these guys are very rough on the outside and very smooth on the inside, and they're Richard, John, and Leonard Chrome Hearts.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Lori Lynn, my love, Evie Quaid, and Cher, and all the rest of the classic sleazy bitches that wear our
It's worth noting here that the Starks are still very close personal friends with Cher, and she's almost always wearing something Chrome Hearts. Even though Richard didn't really care about the award, and probably still doesn't, if you ask him today, he'll acknowledge that it really helped jumpstart the brand, because being listed among the CFDA prize winners drew a lot of new eyes to Chrome Hearts. This included the eyes of other designers like Rei Kawakubo, the founder of Comme des Garçons and Dover Street Market, who would then go on to help introduce Chrome Hearts into the Japanese fashion market. The brand would become extremely popular throughout all of Asia, so this may have very well opened the floodgates. Chrome Hearts was exploding in America too. The brand was selling so well at Maxfield that Tommy Purse helped the Starks open a boutique of their own right across the street. They didn't open any other locations until 1996 when they set up shop in New York City, and then again in 1999 when they opened a location in Tokyo. Even though Chrome Hearts was expanding and had become more popular than ever, Richard and Lori Lynn Stark never let things get out of control, and in a sense this was just the beginning. Throughout the evolution of Chrome Hearts, they've never compromised their design process. They never gave into the cycle of releasing seasonal collections, and they've only ever collaborated with people that they want to collaborate with. In many ways, Chrome Hearts is the same today as it was 30 years ago, and I think that's why it's been so successful. I mean, there are very few other brands I can think of that have such a well-established design language. The formula is basically leather, silver, stylized crosses, and an Old English font. Having an established design language is such an important thing for a brand like Chrome Hearts, because it helps them stand out from the million other grunge aesthetic inspired brands, and because they do so much custom work that you have to have signature design elements if you want people to know it's your work. Now it goes without saying that Chrome Hearts has mastered its own unique style, and to me that's why it's always really fascinating to see their collaborations.
Expensive, man. Chrome Hearts
Imagine being able to
expensive.
build anything just by
It's
thinking
not
about
cheap.
it. Meet Base 44.
I'm going to preface this section of the video by saying that Richard Stark does not like the term collaboration. According to him, what we call collaborations are just opportunities to work with people he wants to work with on projects he genuinely wants to work on. I agree that in recent years the term collaboration has definitely taken on a very commercial connotation that doesn't quite match what Chrome Hearts is doing. So for the purposes of this video, when I say it, let's just assume we're using his definition. Beyond the spur-of-the-moment collaborations with some of the legendary rock bands mentioned earlier, one of Chrome Hearts' first major collaborations was with the Rolling Stones in 2002.
Ooh.
Now obviously by this point the Starks were deeply rooted in the rock and roll scene, but surprisingly they had never actually met any members of the Rolling Stones when they agreed to design some tour gear for the band, which included a diamond-studded belt in the shape of their iconic logo made for Mick Jagger. Then in 2004, Chrome Hearts stepped a little further into the fashion industry by partnering with Yves Saint Laurent to release t-shirts. They followed this up by working with Comme des Garçons in 2007, and then Rick Owens in 2010. A few years later in 2014, they collaborated with Gareth Pugh and Carson McCole, and after that they collaborated with Virgil Abloh's Off-White in 2015. Richard and Virgil have since become fairly frequent collaborators and have worked together on a number of projects. So to me, it's really cool that Chrome Hearts has collaborated with some of the biggest names in luxury fashion, dark fashion, as well as in streetwear. They've even worked with longtime customer and friend of the family Bella Hadid on several occasions. Anyway, these are just a few of their standout collaborations, and of course they've done a ton of custom work for countless celebrities, and this just helps the brand continue to grow.
Richard Stark.
Okay, so there are a few things I want to talk about in regards to the future of Chrome Hearts. For starters, Richard and Lori Lynn Stark are putting all the right pieces in place for Chrome Hearts to be around for a long time to come. Right now, the headquarters of Chrome Hearts is currently 250,000 square feet spread across 3 blocks in Hollywood. And this includes a fully equipped furniture workshop, gold and silver smithing station, printing station, basically everything they need to make whatever they want.
I've been here.
They aren't
I bought all of my stuff in that store.
outsourcing their production to anyone, so they have full control over everything they make. A lot of brands, even big name ones, don't have anywhere near this advanced of a production facility, so this shows that the Starks are very serious about investing in their future. Speaking of investing, in 2014 the Starks purchased a minority stake in the luxury cashmere knitwear label Elder Statesman, which won the 2012 CFDA Vogue Fashion Fund Award. Again, this goes to show that the Starks are still focused on growing and expanding their business in new and exciting directions. Now, if we're going to talk about the future of Chrome Hearts, something we absolutely must bring up is the fact that Chrome Hearts is a family business. As we've talked about, Chrome Hearts is run by husband and wife Richard and Lori Lynn Stark, but in recent years their 3 children have started getting involved as well. Here we have Richard and Lori Lynn, then we have their son Christian Stark, their daughter Frankie Belle Stark, and their daughter Jessie Jo Stark. As the oldest, Jessie Jo has had a major impact on making Chrome Hearts as popular as it is today. She's currently the vice president of Chrome Hearts, and has played a major part in curating the brand's creative direction, building a social media presence, and opening the door for partnerships with people like her close friend Bella Hadid. On top of her business and fashion savvy, she's actually a really talented singer and songwriter, so I highly recommend you go check out some of her work. I should also note here that Jessie Jo is the one who introduced her former boyfriend Matt DiGiacomo to the brand. If you're familiar with Chrome Hearts, you'll know him as Matty Boy, and you've probably seen some of his designs before. In his current role as artistic director, he's definitely added a flair to the Chrome Hearts clothing line, and so far it's been a major hit, particularly amongst fans of streetwear. Beyond that, the twins Christian and Frankie Belle are also venturing into the world of fashion on their own. Christian currently runs an environmentally conscious brand called Thrill Trip, and Frankie Belle currently runs a swimwear line called Dipped in Blue. These are both really cool projects that they're working on, and I'll link them in the description so you can take a look. Overall, it's really cool to see that the whole Stark family is involved in running Chrome Hearts, and I think that it just goes to show that the brand will be around for a long time to come. Style clearly runs in the family, so I'd say Chrome Hearts is in pretty good hands. So that's basically everything I wanted to touch on for this video, but I do just want to conclude by re-emphasizing that there are really no other brands quite like Chrome Hearts at the moment. Obviously, we've talked about Chrome Hearts within the context of fashion, but the more accurate way of describing it would be as a lifestyle brand. The Starks know how to apply their affinity for design and craftsmanship to anything and everything. Just to give you an idea of how strong the Chrome Hearts following is, they've done all of this without a major e-commerce presence. And in an era where most brands are closing brick and mortar locations, Chrome Hearts continues opening new ones year after year. I really hope that this video gave you a glimpse into the long legacy and history of Chrome Hearts. But more than anything, I hope that it's gotten you excited as I...
Shout out, shout out, shout out. Shout out to Chrome Heart, bro. It's my favorite brand. Richard Stark, my man. You the god, bro. You are the G, man. Richard Stark, damn, man. Shout out to Richard Stark, bro. He's still alive, though? I really wonder, he's still alive? Richard. Yeah.